All right. All right, everyone, welcome to today's podcast. Today we're talking about the best weight loss strategy. And once you start utilizing this strategy, everything changes. Your weight loss becomes relatively easy. And most importantly, you're able to sustain it and maintain it for the rest of your life because of this one single strategy. And what this strategy is the strategy that works best for you. I can't just tell you one strategy that's going to work for you because there's 8 billion people on the planet. What strategy works for one person is probably not going to work for everyone. And I think the sooner you realize this, the sooner you can put yourself on your path to figuring out what works for you, which is something you probably have never done when it comes to your weight loss. Because when it comes to weight loss, we always just take what people tell us and try and force ourselves to do it. Again, metaphorically, for most people, weight loss feels like they're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Trying to force yourself to eat a way that you don't like eating, exercise in a way you do not like exercising, till you get to the point where you think about weight loss all the time, but you can't even get yourself to start or do anything to make it happen because everything you think you need to do, you hate doing and you don't want to do it. And so instead, you suffer with the weight because you think there's only one way to do things, and there's not. There's a million ways to lose weight. It all comes down to reducing your average calorie consumption. And there are a lot of ways to go about doing that. And I think the sooner you start building those ways around who you are, what works for you, your personal preferences, your lifestyle, your genetics and situation, I think the sooner you figure out a real strategy that's custom built for you. And so then not only do you lose the weight, but you've now set up a firm foundation to build your ultimate weight loss mastery on, which means that you'll be able to not only lose the weight, but live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. But it requires that you take some time and effort and energy into figuring out what works for you. And again, I know you're impatient. I know you just want to be told what to do and you just want to start your keto plan, but you've got to look back on all the failed attempts and recognize the one common thread they all have is that they're plans you did not want to continue with. You did not like them. And there's a big difference between a plan that you absolutely don't want to do, that you hate, that is not built for you, and a plan that is custom built for you. And sometimes you got to kind of push yourself to do it a little bit. So I'm not saying that just because you have your own unique strategy, it's always just the easiest thing in the world. I mean, of course, sometimes you got to, prod yourself on, but the difference between them is night and day. And it's such a difference when you don't have to force yourself constantly to do things you hate doing. And again, I can't overstate this enough. So I hope you give this some real thought, internalize what I'm saying here, and start figuring out what works for me. When I've been most successful in my weight, what have I been doing, and how can I make that strategy that I use there more comfortable and easier for me, so that not only do I lose the weight, but I do it in a way that's comfortable and that I can build on. So the more you start thinking like this, the more you're going to be able to master your weight. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. We'll get into them. Anything you have. It's funny week, I think. This week, it's oops, let's get this turned around here. My Instagram and YouTube and Facebook people can see. Looks crooked to me. Yeah, it's a funny week because where are we? We just had St. Patrick's Day. Spring's here, and Easter's coming next week. So I imagine for a lot of people, they're stuck in this weird, what's the word? This limbo space, right? Where it's like, you're not really sure what to do. You want to start losing weight, but you can't start now. So you might be stuck a little bit, but if that's the case, let's talk about it, because there's always solutions, Let's see, I'll make sure I miss any questions. I will call you Flower. We have a flower for an avatar. Is it okay if I take fat burning pills for a month? Is it okay? I mean, I'm not the person that can answer that for you. Is it okay? Depends what your goals are. I mean, if you want to lose weight for a month, sure, that's a great goal. If you don't want to, think about it too much and you just want to lose weight for a month and then put it back on, I think fat burning pills would be great. You got some extra money lying around you want to get rid of, fat burning pills would probably make sense. If you wanted to lose weight long term, I don't think it'd be the best strategy, So yeah, that's what I think. I think that it's okay, sure, but it just depends what your goal is. So yeah, if you want to lose weight for a month, I think that's probably a great way to do it. Take fat burning pills for a month and then stop. I don't know what the long-term impact of that'll be on your psyche and your mindset, but you know, everyone gets to decide what they're going to do. Your weight's one of those things, right? It really is. It's one of it's a personal decision. You can weigh whatever you want. You can go about it however you want. It's up to you. So again, taking fat burning pills, that's your choice. You can do that. If you're an adult, I'm assuming you're an adult. If you're an adult, you can kind of do whatever you want. So that's how I feel. Let's talk about Ozempic. If you want to lose weight and you don't want to come up with strategies and change your lifestyle, your mindset, and your eating, and you just want to lose weight, Ozempic might be great. You eat the same way, you'll probably feel fuller. Maybe, you may feel a little nauseous, and then maybe you'll eat less. Maybe you'll lose weight while you're on it. So, again, I'm not here to, there's 8 billion people on the planet. So I'm not sitting here saying I am the only one who has an answer, because that can't be true. Flower says, I do want to lose it long term, but I've tried for years and I can't lose my binge eating. Well, okay, but if that's the case, the fat burning pills, what is that going to do though? You know what I mean? Again, you got to zoom out and you tell me. I'm going to ask you right now. If you took you've been struggling with binge eating, your weight's been the same for a while, and this idea of taking fat burning pills, and I get it, right? Because I just want to see if I can even lose weight. I just want to see what it's like to see the scale go down, right? That's what you want to see. But my question to you is, do you plan on taking the fat burning pills forever? That's the first question. And if not, if you just plan on taking them for a month, what do you think is going to be the effect on you the month after you stop taking them? What do you think is going to happen to your weight? And what do you think is going to happen to your mindset and moods and emotions from that? That's my question. And I can't answer that because I don't know you, but that's my question to you. So if you want to answer that, that'd be great, because then I could give you a more, I think, specific, useful answer than just kind of the vague general ones that I'm giving here. But that's the question I'm kicking back to you is, what do you think, are you planning on taking forever? You said a month, so I'm just going to assume that's what you were thinking. What's going to happen the month after that? How is that second month, after you stop taking the pills, you go back to normal, the binge eating comes back to normal. What happens to your weight? What happens to your mindset and your mood from that experience? What's up, Don? How's it going? But again, I get this stuff. So I'm not being a wise guy, because I love having conversations like this, because it's my favorite thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like work wise, I love coaching people. I love just deep diving into what's going on with people, because everyone really is so unique. There certainly are patterns you start to notice after a while. There are consistent patterns of behavior when it comes to weight, but just as, but there's also unique things every time too. So it's always fascinating. So I am obsessed with how people think about all this. I really am. And if you've been struggling with binge eating for years and your weight hasn't gone anywhere, to me, it's like, I want to get a handle on the binge eating, and I don't want to use like fat burning pills. That's me though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to use outside things. I want to deal with the core issue at hand, because I would feel, and this is how I think, until I dealt with that core issue, I'm always going to have to deal with the weight issue. And there is no magical cure, unless you're planning on taking fat burning pills forever, and again, people, they're setting people up to take, Ozempic forever. So who knows, people can be conditioned to do all sorts of things. What's up, Joy? How's it going? What's up, Eric? I did my first morning session since joining yesterday. They were awesome. Yeah, they are awesome. They're really good. I am reading this book too. This book's on my mind. It's called Brain Over Binge, recommended by a couple people on here. And I'm finally getting to it. And super interesting. And I love it. I love it. What I love about it so much is, and it's interesting reading it, because I will say a lot of the things that she talks about in the book trying to deal with it were things that I would say right off the bat. But I think, where I've been fortunate to have a different approach to things is I would keep on tweaking things and get to where she got to, I think. And anyways, it's interesting because that book revealed another approach to addictive behaviors, and I just bought it today and I can't wait to read it, because I love this stuff. I love outlier strategies for creating the changes that are very common, because, and that's right. That's in my neurolinguistic programming, NLP for short. If you don't know it, I think is just such a brilliant strategy. I don't even know what you would call it. I'm a trainer in it. You know what I mean? Like I've literally steeped myself in this for 30 years, and I find it hard to explain what it is. But I will say that is really came from the roots of it were really taking a different approach to creating change in people that were going to therapy to create change. So it became an alternative approach to creating change. And so that has been such a big part of my process here is if something doesn't work, do something different. And I think that leads you to a lot of interesting things because I find a lot of people, certainly in the diet world, something doesn't work. And what do? You do it again. And it doesn't work. You do it again. I mean, how many times you started your Weight Watchers or keto plan or your diet or whatever? It's like, it's just the same thing over and over. So again, if you can work flexibility into your process, it speeds the whole thing up, considerably. Now, again, I'm talking out of left field. If you're a dieter, there's none of that, right? If you're a dieter, you get the plan and you follow it best you can. There's no learning, there's no growth, there's no figuring out strategies. What are you talking about, Jim? There's no learning from mistakes. There's just doing it right. Just do it. Come on, just do it. No pain, no gain. Just do it. And here you are 30 years later, just trying to force yourself to do the same shit. And every year it gets harder. It gets harder every year. So what do? You got to find something different. That'd be my suggestion. But Erica's doing something different. Erica joined the program yesterday and she's listening to hypnosis sessions in the morning and at night, 5-minute one in the morning, 10-minute one at night if you're really ambitious. And it transforms you. It transforms you physically, mentally, emotionally, not even just because of the hypnosis, but because you're taking 5 minutes to relax and calm down. And I did see that in a lot of that brain over binge. She was a binge eater. She was a little bulimic, a lot anorexic, obsessed with food, obsessed with her weight. And it was all this stuff. So it's interesting seeing this, there's a lot of reasons that this stuff can happen. But what I see constantly is a foundation of anxiety and stress. That's pretty much the norm. And people that are struggling with their weight. And it's never really talked about. You just assume, well, that's just part of the thing. That's just it. I'm going to go on a diet and it's even more stressful, but that's what I got to do to lose weight. And with Program Yourself Thin, it's a complete opposite approach where instead of starting off with something stressful and difficult and overwhelming, you start with something calming and simple and doable. And it has a long-term collateral positive effect on you. I have learned this very quick with my hypnosis office. The very first thing I learned is that when people relax, well, people don't relax ever. And when they do relax, there's a lot of wisdom in them that's already there. And especially when it comes to weight loss, because you do have a lot of experience. You've tried lots of different diets. So you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom and experience there, but you're not utilizing any of it. And so relaxing and calming down is one of the most powerful things you can do to kickstart your weight loss, because it just allows your brain to kind of fire on all cylinders and you start to make use of your experience and your wisdom and your knowledge, as opposed to just ignoring it and doing the same shit over again. So I find relaxation to be really helpful. So that's great, Eric. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. And I'm glad you joined the program. It's Jody saying. Jody said, plan to minimize the damage, enjoy the holiday. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Yeah, absolutely. Jody's in the program and she, actually, Jody, it was you that I believe was one of the main people recommending Brain Over Binge. And I thought it was super and it's getting good now. And I really like it. I love it. I love alternative points of view. And so I'm excited to do this. Now, again, even this will be an alternative point of view. What I will do, and I'll be talking about this because I just got this guy's book. I really like it, off the bat. But I also know that this new approach that I'll be sharing with you all it's one more approach. It won't be the only approach. And this is where I find this is one of the biggest problems I have with dieting in general, is that dieting is always sold as like, it's just, you got to do this one thing. You got to do this one thing. You have to do it. And I've not found that to be true. I've seen people lose weight in so many different ways that when I begin working with someone new, I have a sense of best practices. I think, do this, see what happens. But if it doesn't work, I pull from lots of different things. And I think that way of being is better than getting dogmatic and be like, it's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. And I think it's better for everyone, especially the person who's working with me, because there's nothing worse and you all are experience this as dieters, is that you think, okay, I got to do this to lose weight. And then you go and try and do that. And then you can't do it, don't want to do it, you hate it. And now in your mind, you start to think, well, I can't get myself to do keto, so I'm never going to be able to lose weight. I can't get myself to do keto, so there's something wrong with me. And I'm trying to say, like, you should build around who you are. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a beautiful, wonderful, fully functioning, working person. And what you need to do is figure out what works for you. And if keto doesn't work for you, fuck keto. You know what I mean? Intermittent fasting doesn't work for you, fuck it. I'll do something else. But you're not doing that. What you're doing is oh God, keto doesn't work for me. You step away from it for 3-6 months and you get really upset. I got to go back to keto. And just keep repeating the same shit that doesn't work for you instead of growing and evolving and figuring out what works for you. Imagine if you'd done that for the last 20 years. You'd be in a completely different spot. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the method I'm kind of bringing with you all, you know. But yeah, minimize the damage and enjoy the holiday. Yep, that's the strategy. That's a good strategy for the holidays too, I can tell you. Yep, Don, I'm Don's plan. It's the best plan for me. Yeah, exactly, Don. Yeah, the Don plan. Right? You want a one size fits one size plan. What's up, Heather? I'm excited. I joined a week before an all-inclusive trip to Cancun. I'm not anxious this time. Yeah, that's wonderful, right? And so, yeah, especially Heather, we'll talk about that because you get on the call tonight, which there was a little confusion, right? In my program, there's a coaching version and a kind of a do-it-yourself version, I guess you might want to call. The coaching call is tonight at 6 p.m. and it's 3 on Thursday. The 3 o'clock class is a class for everyone, whichever version you get. We do a live class every Tuesday at 3 o'clock where I cover a different part of the program. You can ask questions if you want. That's not really coaching so much, but it's like if you're hung up on anything, I can answer the questions for you. So yeah, you'll go to Cancun. I think you'll find you'll have a better time than you would have had. And whether you lose weight or not is really irrelevant. Again, folks, we're not trying to lose weight on holidays. You know what I mean? But we're also not trying to just go bonkers either. There's kind of a middle ground. You know, again, we call them minimize the damage mode is an ideal vacation mode, holiday mode. Haley says, I've just bought the intuitive eating workbook. I listen to your hypnotherapy in the evenings. That's wonderful. The intuitive eating workbook. I have not heard that. I will check that out. See what that's all about. And Haley, get on here when you're reading it because I'll look that up. I have my thoughts on intuitive eating, and so I'll look into this because I always like to see how people are defining intuitive eating. So I'll check that out. Again, this is what I try to say. Like I'll study anything. I really will because I think everything's got something valuable in it. I think where the problem happens is when we take one thing to be the only thing, you know? So yeah, that's interesting, Haley. I'm going to check that out. I'm glad you're using the hypnosis sessions. Good job. Tips for transitioning from a deficit to maintenance calories. Oh yeah. One of my favorite conversations. And I don't have a good strategy for this because that whole concept is really a dieting concept and I don't buy into it. And here we go. All you chemists and scientists out there telling me about thermal adaptation. Maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe I don't, you know, but basically dieters, most of them will approach it, say this is their average calorie consumption that's been maintaining the same weight you've been at for a long time. And you want to diet. So you're going to drastically cut the calories. And it's not unusual for someone to cut 50, 60% of their calories out day one and maintain that calorie cut until they lose the weight. Then they're going to bring it up to maintenance. And what's the maintenance? Well, some people think they're gonna bring it almost right back up to where it was, but now my metabolism's fixed and now I'm just gonna stay at this lower weight, even though I brought my calories up. I don't understand that. You'd have to explain that to me. I'm not a scientist. So there we go. And so what people try and do is they try and bring those maintenance calories or the deficit calories up to the maintenance and figure that out. I don't have tips on that because in my world, what I'd rather see someone do is I'd rather see someone. Again, I say that now this is just an idea, but let's just say you're 200 pounds and you want to lose 50 pounds. You want to get to 150 pounds. So that 50 pounds would be 25% of your weight. So I like to start off with just a basic idea that your average calories are here. We want to cut 25% of your calories out because you want to lose 25% of your weight. Now, I do know enough to know that this is not exactly how it works, but I think this is a much more intuitive, rational way to approach this than just making some drastic ass cut. Because first of all, the drastic cut is that alone is going to decrease your chances of success tremendously. It's overwhelming. Again, this idea, this dieter idea, dieters are I mean, again, I say this every day because dieters are the most hypnotized of the group. You're doing shit that makes no sense. I know you're so impatient. I get that you're impatient and you want fast results. I understand that, but I also understand the tough shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like everything in my life, I want to get to the store in 5 seconds. I don't want to sit in traffic. I don't want to have to do certain work. There's lots of things I don't want to do, but there's being an adult and there's being rational and saying, okay, this shit's going to take longer than I think. So what am I going to do here? Because you're in such an impatient rush that you cut drastic calories out. But anyways, let's just say you do succeed with it. Now you got to figure out the maintenance thing. And this is hard too, because 95% of people, they say, that lose weight on a diet, put it back on. Is it because your hormones always want to bring you up to a higher weight? I don't buy that, because I talk to people that successfully lose the weight, but again, they consistently seem to do the process I'm talking about, where they don't make drastic calorie changes. They do kind of systematic, strategic, comfortable changes to get themselves to the goal weight and then just maintain that. So I'm not giving you very much value here, I don't think, in terms of my answer, but I'm trying to reframe things. So, I mean, what do? How do you go from a deficit to maintenance? Well, you start adding calories in and just notice where your weight goes. The same shit that I suggest people start with, you got to end with. Okay. But it's a little bit of a different process. Cause now see, a lot of people trade the excitement of the food for the excitement of the scale going down. So that scale going down is a powerful motivator. It's exciting. But at some point the weight stops going down. So if you're moved to maintenance now and you're happy with where you're at, now you just got to start to experiment with the foods, start adding some foods in. And slowly, and I would weigh myself every day. I would absolutely weigh myself every day. That would be front center. Program yourself. Then we start with maintenance. This is why I'm saying this is outside of my normal way of thinking about things, but I understand this. This is the norm for dieters. So now you got to figure out maintenance. So again, now it's all about mindset work. There's a lot of mindset work going on now for you. Okay. So I would strongly recommend go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, but watch the video I give you, 3 steps to master your weight. That'll kind of set you up with this. You need a mindset shift real strong now. And I would suggest weighing yourself every day as you start to increase your calories so that you can stay much more granular, understanding of what's going on, and you can catch it before you put too much on. So I guess that's at least the takeaways. I'd weigh myself every day if I were you. What's up, Bella? Whoops, shit. I just crossed all the things. Let me see here. Fortunately or unfortunately, fasting works for me. Well, no, I mean, it's fortunate. Great. I want to make crystal clear. Like I shit talk keto all the time and intermittent fasting, but I want to make crystal clear. I am shit talking those within the context of a diet and a person who has tried keto 30 times and it hasn't worked. I'm really talking about that. If you're doing keto and you're absolutely just killing it and loving it and it's working amazing for you, then I'm not talking to you. If you're fasting and it's like you love fasting, it's working really well for you. You got your weight where you want it to be. You feel amazing. You look forward to the fast. You enjoy the fast. You learn from them and feel great after them. Then I'm not talking to you. So it's fortunate. It really is. My golden rule is that there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. So fortunately or unfortunately, fasting works for me. Now I will say works for you. Here's why I would just make sure that works for you doesn't just mean that it helps me control my weight and I hate doing it. When we say something works for us, it can't just be that it helps us lose weight, because people will do this shit and it makes you wonder what's being said, where people say, oh, keto works for me. And I say, okay, well, what's the problem then? How can I help you with the weight? Well, I'm having a hard time getting back on it. Okay, then it's not working for you. It worked for you back then when you forced yourself to do it and hated it, but that's not working for you. I just want to make that clear too. So if you hate fasting, I wouldn't say that's working for you. You know what I mean? Like we need to have a more enriched definition of what's working for us. And you got to take into account how you feel doing the plan you're following. We can't just force ourselves to do shit we hate to do. That cannot be working for you, because it won't be working for you long. And I know your goal is to master your weight. So I just want to make that clear. But I'm glad you found something that works for you, Bella. That's what I try to do. I work with people to find stuff that works for them. And I'm very diet agnostic. Like, I don't care. I have people, vegans, carnivores, literally everyone along the spectrum. I'm pescatarian, pretty much just vegetarian. But I don't care what people eat. It's not up to me. I don't give a shit. I eat what I want to eat and what I do. And I help you do the things you want to do. So I really want you to internalize that, because I think a lot of weight loss is people telling everyone what to do. And I don't think that works very well. So I use IF as a strategy too. 7 months. Wonderful. I use it too. I use intermittent fasting. Again, my definition, I call it nighttime fasting. It's my own thing that I created 30 years ago, but I think it's very good. I think it's great to take a break, let your body have a break from eating. I think that's one of the pillars of my success. So yeah. User, is 500 deficit considered drastic to you? Well, it depends where you're starting from, user. You know what I mean? Like if you're eating 1,000 calories, 500 calorie deficit would be pretty dramatic. If you're eating 3,500 calories, a 500 calorie deficit is. So again, I mean, in the ballpark, what I've seen, I don't suggest people go much over 25, 30%. So that's how I think. So whatever your weight, your calorie range is here, I wouldn't suggest cutting more than 30% of the calories out to start. So anything over 30% is pretty drastic. I think anything over 20% is fairly drastic. You're gonna notice it. But 20% seems to be a sweet spot for it being comfortable, and you can get some results and build on it. So again, I'm playing the long game here. So I know no one weight loss wants to hear that, but yeah. So if you're typically eating 3,500 calories and you drop 500, I don't think that's that drastic. I think you won't notice that much. But again, if you're eating 1,000 calories, you drop 500, that's very drastic. That's 50% of your calories. So it's more of a statistical thing than it is a percentage wise than it is the number itself. Haley says, is weighing yourself every day always a good thing? I understand it helps focus, but do you think it can create obsession? Yeah, that's a great question, Haley. I don't think anything's always a good thing. First of all, I think everything is relative, always relative. There is no absolutes as far as I can tell. And so is weighing yourself every day always a good thing? Absolutely not. Is weighing yourself every day a good thing in general? I think it is if you want to lose weight. Now, I get what you're saying. Do you think it can create an obsession? So I want to make clear, one of the things I do that's kind of unusual in the weight loss world is I'd never just tell you what to do. I wouldn't just tell you, hey, weigh yourself every day. Like I would never just say, weigh yourself every day. I would explain why I think that. And then I would let you make the choice you want to make with some context of why I'm saying it. Okay. So I never, ever, never just tell people what to do, because there's always context. So I think weighing yourself once a week is one of the cruelest things you can do, because your body has fluctuations all the time. And again, I used to weigh myself every day when I was losing weight. The biggest weight shift in one day was like 4 or 5 pounds. But, it wasn't unusual for me to shift a pound, 2 pounds every day, like just always shifting. And so weighing myself every day, I like it for a couple of reasons. The worst one is I started to understand my body and how it released weight or gained weight, depending on what I was doing. I think it reinforced mentally that I'm focused on this. I'm serious about this. But then the biggest thing of all is the third thing, which is I used it as a way to really put my emotions front and center. My obsessions, my fears, my worries about what the scale was going to say, all of those things. Because to me, Program Yourself Thin, it's dealing with emotions is a crucial part of the whole program. And so I feel like if you're terrified to step on the scale, I feel like that's I don't know how you're ever going to become successful and master your weight if you have this sheer terror that you're going to step on the scale. Because I don't think stepping on the scale is really what's causing the worry for you. I think it's more that you don't know how to control your behaviors. You don't know how to control your eating. I usually make the reference that, you want the scale to be like the speedometer of your car, right? You're not scared to look at the speedometer of your car when you're driving. If you're going too fast, you slow down. If you're going too slow, you can speed up. And you're not scared to look at it because you can control the speed of the car. I think the scale really just reveals a deeper problem, that you don't know how to influence your eating effectively. And so I think it just reveals that. It makes you feel out of control. And so a lot of people step on the scale and it's like, it's going to, tell them if they're doing good or bad. And they don't really know until they step on it. So I get there's a lot of emotions with the scale, but I would rather work through those like that, just to be honest. And now in terms of the obsession, I get this too. I think the obsession, you're not going to like some people don't like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyways, because it's just how I think about it. And again, I take an oath of being honest with you guys. So for me, at one point I was going to I had a program, I sold it. It was called Addictive Health. And a lot of people didn't like that. and I get it because people usually associate addictive with bad, unhealthy things. And I understand that. So I'll take the responsibility. I'm using addictive wrong. Okay. That being said, for me in my life, someone who was a very addictive personality to unhealthy, bad things, okay, is now, I feel, very addicted to a lot of positive, healthy, good things. So I don't know how to explain it. I'm not defining the word addictive. I use that word and I don't know how to explain what's going on in me other than the fact that I've been addicted to really unhealthy, damaging, destructive things. And I feel like I'm addicted now to much more positive, healthy things. So my obsession with weight was never just about the number on the scale. For me, the weight was just one data point in a goal of being the best version of myself possible. And being the best version of myself possible was, how my mindset, how I feel day in and day out, how my body's operating, my peak, kind of shape for where I want to be. I'm not a person who wants to be in the peakest, most optimal shape. I say that regularly. I don't want to be the healthiest person I can be. I like being healthy. And that's a sweet spot for me. I still like drinking wine. I still like eating pizza and shit sometimes. Okay. So I don't want to be the absolute healthiest person ever. I want to have the best quality of life possible. And for me, that's a nuanced definition. And so for me, the weight became an obsession, but it wasn't just a scale number. It wasn't a size. That's what I'm trying to say. And I want to make that crystal clear because obviously we know about people get obsessed with weight and it becomes a very unhealthy thing. For me, I recognized that potential and I made it. I framed the whole process. I took my weight loss and wrapped it in personal development. I made this about becoming the best version of myself that I could be. And that included, again, physically, I wanted to be in the best shape that was going to allow me to live the longest, was going to give me the best quality of life and comfort in my body, energy levels, mobility, flexibility, strength, all of these things. Personally, I want to run a business. So I successfully, start a business. I wanted to have a successful marriage and relationships and family and all this. So all of these things I'm obsessed with, and they're directly related to my weight. So I hope this makes sense because I think, and I want to be crystal clear about this. I think if you want to lose weight and live at your goal weight and master it, I think you need to be somewhat obsessed with it. But I think there's healthy obsessions and unhealthy obsessions. I think just caring what the scale says is an unhealthy obsession. I think using the scale as one data point in the best version of me, the person I want to be, where I'm most happy and self-actualized, I think it's a healthy obsession. And again, you may or may not agree with that, but that's how I think about it. And that has served me very well. And it gives my life meaning, to be honest. And my weight is part of it. My eating's part of it. My lifestyle's part of it. My mindset's part of it. So yes, I do obviously understand how some people get obsessed with the scale and they look at the weight purely like, what am I going to weigh? And I think that's a very superficial, one-dimensional way of approaching it. And I think it's going to lead to you being just as miserable as if you're overweight. I don't think there's any happiness at the end of that path. The path I'm talking about is completely different. It's about mastering your weight and really using it as an opportunity to master yourself, to become the best version of you possible. One piece of that is you weighing what you want, having the body you want, but there's way more to it than that. So I hope that helps. If you're white knuckling any strategy, ditch it. Yeah, exactly, Don. I agree with that. We can eat way more calories than diet plans sell you. Don, thank you. You framed that better than I did. That's a really good point, everyone. I hope you hear what Don said. You can eat way more calories than diet plans sell you. The diet plans are all bullshit, folks. They're all bullshit. Diets don't work. Dieting is a mindset that's there to sell you shit that does not help. And again, let's be honest, the dieting industry has caused you to be really impatient with your weight loss. So all the weight loss plans are extreme cuts so you get fast weight loss results. Again, the weight loss industry, pretty much the entire weight loss industry is focused on how fast you can get results. I'm focused on how long you can get results for. That's the biggest shift I can tell you between me and 99.9% of all the diets you're going to come across. And so I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care. Yeah, do my program. I hate to say this because people still lose weight relatively quick on my program, but it's not about fast weight loss. I don't give a shit. If someone's like, oh my God, I'm 4 weeks in, I've only lost 2 pounds. I don't give a shit. What'd you learn? I don't give a fuck how much weight you lose in a week, a month, 2 months. I don't care. And if you care, don't join my program because it's not going to do what you want it to then. If you want to lose weight quickly, go look at water fast, go look at keto, go look at all the dumb shit you've been looking at that doesn't work. I was like, it also defensive, but it's just like, God, it's like, you don't do this anything in your life. Like This obsession with fast weight loss is the biggest. It's the bars of your jail cell. You're in a mental prison. You think like a dieter in a mental prison, and the bars of those jail cells are impatience, and you got to recognize that and face it. Your impatience dooms more people than anything else, and especially when you do the diet, because the diets, you start off in everyone starts their diets off in a negative place to begin with. They're already on shaky ground because they're very emotional. What triggers the diet? You stepped on the scale. You couldn't believe how big it was, or how high it was. You see a picture of yourself. You can't believe what you look like. You go to the doctors, get some bad information. You get scared. And then you get so upset. You say, that's it. And then you do some crazy diet that's overwhelming to you. You stick with it for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. You don't get the results you thought you were going to get, and you quit. And so, you know what I mean? I don't know how many times you can do that and not realize it. It seems infinite. I know the answer to that question. It seems limitless. I've seen people they just keep on doing it. So I don't know what to say other than, I get out here every day and remind you that the impatience is, it's going to ruin your things. But diet plans, that's what diet plans are all built around, is fast results. And all you care about is fast results, probably. If you're a dieter, that's all you give a shit about. And yet, again, I tell the irony of ironies. If you look back, if you zoom out on your life, your obsession with fast results is ironically giving you no results. How much weight you lost this year? Last 2 years, how much weight have you lost? Probably none, And so I don't know. I get tired of saying this, but I'll say it one more time, because it's like, what's slow and what's fast weight loss? Is losing 20 pounds in a month and then putting it back on the next month fast weight loss or no weight loss? Is losing 4 pounds a month easily, comfortably, consistently for a year, is that slow weight loss or fast weight loss? I would say that's the fast weight loss. I think just because you lose weight quickly, but then put it back on, that's no weight loss. But I don't know. Maybe people don't believe that. Yeah, maybe Ferg says fast doesn't last. It just doesn't. What do you want? Most fast shit doesn't work well long term. I mean, that's not I didn't come up with that. Yeah. Haley says the long game is the tough reality. I get what you're saying, Haley. I understand that. But why? Why is that the tough reality? This is what I mean. Like, you've all been conditioned by the diets. Listen, folks, the diets, they're not there to help you lose weight. The diets are owned by the food companies, and it's just one branch of their sales strategy for selling more shitty food to you. I know you don't believe me. The Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company as Carvel Ice Cream and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company that sells Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Do you really think these companies would be pushing their diets out to the masses if they worked and got people to buy less of their shitty foods? Or do you think that they push diets because diet thinking is one of the best ways to get you to overeat and be obsessed with food? And so you think like a dieter and you think short term. And so the long game seems like a tough reality because you're thinking about doing a diet forever. Do you understand? Listen, the difference I'm making, or the big distinction, is you're on the weight loss path. I'm talking about the weight mastery path. They're two completely different paths, because on the weight loss path, your goal, the finish line for you, is to get to your goal weight. For me, getting to your goal weight is the starting point. My goal for you is I want you to get to your goal weight, but then here's the real goal. I want you to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. That's what I want to share with you. That's what I want you to do. Because you say the long game is the tough reality, but let me flip that just a little bit. How long do you want to lose the weight for, Haley? Now, I can hear you saying forever, of course. But do you understand there's a blank spot in your mind? You never think about maintenance. Because I tell you, the fastest way to trigger a dieter is to ask them when they're successfully losing weight, what are you going to do once you lose the weight? They get very upset because deep down, they know they don't have any plan for when they lose the weight. Listen, folks, if you're a dieter, you've got like your automated mindset, like who you are, your thermostat setting. You're overweight. The way you habitually just automatically think, live, eat keeps you overweight. Okay. So if you're not thinking about food at all, you're just living your life, doing whatever you're doing, you're overweight automatically. You're not trying to be overweight. As a matter of fact, you're doing everything you can to not be overweight, but you're just stuck being overweight. But you're not stuck being overweight. You're stuck acting the same way that keeps you overweight. You understand? You keep eating and living the same way that keeps you overweight, but you do it on autopilot. And so then you get upset every once in a while and you take your conscious mind, you come in and you say, okay, diet mind, we're going to fight against our automatic mind. And your diet mind is just an anti-mind. It's just you doing the opposite of what you want to do for a while. And then at best case scenario, you get down to your goal weight, but we got the same problem. You've got an overweight mindset and a diet mindset. You can't keep dieting and you're terrified to go back to here, but that's what you usually do. You go back to your overweight mindset, put the weight back on. Then you start dieting, bring it down, put the weight back on. The core problem comes that you've never, ever, your goal is not to think like a thin and healthy person. You never think that way. But that's the goal in my world, is I want you to think like a thin and healthy person so you automatically and naturally maintain your goal weight. It's not a crazy idea either, folks. You just never even think about it this way. You think you're consciously going to change your eating, which is why it's terrifying to think the long game's a tough reality, because you think you're going to have to fight against yourself forever. You think I'm going to have to diet, I'm going to have to fight against myself forever. That seems terrible. Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't work, and it's not going to happen. So the alternative is to start to create a thin, healthy mindset so that you naturally and automatically do the things that keep you at your goal weight. Then there's no more fighting. And then again, it comes back to the question, how long do you want to keep the weight off for? You know? Michelle says, when you drop weight, how do you deal with the extra skin? I mean, that's a good question. And it just depends for different people. This is just one more, I think, reason to lose weight on a slower trajectory. It helps with that. And I don't want to say that there are, everyone's different. Slower weight loss tends to deal with that better. Time deals with it as well. Skin tends to tighten up a bit. Again, it always depends on the situation of the person. So let's go to the worst case scenario, because this is what you got to deal with, folks. Because I would say seems to be like the second or third biggest reason people don't want to lose weight. And I'm a big believer that you weigh what you want. I think you weigh what you want to weigh. I genuinely think you don't even want to lose weight. I really believe that. I think you want to lose weight, but I think you don't want to change how you're eating and living more. And then on top of that, I think you literally don't want to lose weight because you're worried about attention from men. You're worried it's going to be way too hard. Thanks for the heart. You're worried that it's going to be excess skin. I'm going to look worse than I do now. I think there's reasons why you don't want to lose weight. And so let's go to the skin one. I think you just got to face this question. And I put it this way. Do I want to deal with extra skin, or do I want to be overweight? I think you need to make a binary choice for yourself just to clarify the decision. And I don't know what your answer will be, but either way, I think you're in a better spot, because right now, a lot of people are worried about the skin. It's like they're on the fence, and there's no more uncomfortable place than to be straddling a fence. So I think one side or the other is better. Either decide, I don't want to lose skin. I'd rather have the extra weight, so now I can let go of all the weight bullshit and just live my life. Or say, you know what? I don't give a shit about the extra skin. I don't care. I want to be healthier. I'm doing this for a lot of other reasons. I want to have better mobility. I want to be stronger. I want to look better in my clothes. I want to feel better, blah, 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 whatever your reasons are. But I think it's good to think of it like a scale. Which one do I want? You need to get crystal clear on that. I couldn't answer that for you, but you have to resolve this, because right now it's happening. It's like subconscious. There's a tug of war, there's a tug of war with party who wants to lose weight and party doesn't want to have extra skin. So you've got to resolve that. You got to come to some clear, well, which one do I want more? And you got to take a little bit of time and think about it. And you got to address the negatives. I might have loose skin. I don't like how that looks. Okay. But I don't give a shit in terms of I think I'm going to live longer. I think I'm going to be healthier. I think my quality of life is going to improve. So you need to figure out the reasons that are more important than the skin. Or if the skin's the most important, I don't want to lose skin, then just let it go and just live your life. Forget the weight loss. So I hope that helps. Haley says, that's great, Jim. Agree the scale isn't the issue. Yeah, of course. Scale's rarely the issue. Rarely the issue. Heffy Joe Craft Company started this program a couple days ago and loving it. Super job. Great job, Heffy. That's awesome. Haley, not a criticism, Jim, just saying change your thinking does take time. No, I get that, Haley. Of course it takes time. That's what I mean. Again, I've told this story before, but I was so fortunate in my life. I had I kind of on my lower points, my lowest point in life. I don't know. It was a low point. Who gives a shit? The lowest, but it was a tough time. I took a semester off from college, and I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I was binge drinking. I was pretty depressed. I was kind of I don't know what the hell I was doing. There's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of emotional stuff. And I took a semester off from college, and I came across like this is real life. I swear to God, this happened. I came across personal development, Tony Robbins, hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming. I started playing guitar, martial arts, yoga, meditation. I swear all of these things happened in a couple months. And I'm so thankful for especially like yoga, guitar, meditation, martial arts, which I don't really do anymore. But I loved all these things because they were mastery paths. You know, that you do them forever. You never get to a point where it's like, oh, I know how to play the guitar now. You know, you never get to that. There's always more to learn. And so that really informed my weight because I got out of this idea that I was just going to lose the weight and then I'd just be a thin person. I got rid of that idea and realized this is way bigger. This really is about being the best version of myself possible. And with the weight, I'm always going to have to manage things. I think of weight maintenance and weight loss really, but especially the maintenance part of it. It's like surfing. You know, it's not this static thing. Dieters are always living this false hope syndrome where you think I'm just going to get to my goal weight. And then there's just a blank space there, which I assume you just fill in with I'll just stay at my goal weight forever. I don't know what you think, but it's not like that. You get to your goal weight every day. I'm navigating and managing things. Now, most of it's on autopilot. Okay. But there's always different situations going on. It's like, you know, like last week, my daughter's got a play and I'm making cookies for it for the bake sale. So all of a sudden there's chocolate chip cookies and all of a sudden I'm eating chocolate chip cookies for 5 days. And that makes this week harder, you know? But again, I can navigate that because I have the strategies to do it. But what I'm trying to say is that this all takes time because again, it goes back to the question, how long do you want to live at your goal weight for? So how long the time takes is, you know, there's a saying that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And I think people do this in general, that your mindset and your expectations are fucking way off. I mean, they're so off. Your expectations are so crazy that you almost have no chance of success. You know, and this happens all the time. I run my own business. It's the same thing. It's like, what expectations do you have? I can tell you they're fucked. They just are. It's called the planning fallacy. It's a bias we all have. When we think about taking something on, the planning fallacy says we always assume the best case scenario because our brain isn't going to think of every possible thing that could go wrong, right? It just thinks, oh, I'm going to start losing weight. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to lose the weight. It just simplifies it. I'm going to start playing guitar. I'm going to learn some Amazon and I'll start playing guitar. You know, then you get into it. And it's like, oh shit, this is harder than I thought. Everything you do, if you stick with it for a little bit, you get to the stage where it's like, oh shit, this is harder than I thought. And most dieters are going to quit because they're not even prepared. You know, think about how you approach dieting and weight loss, and then think about how you approach college. If you went to college or if you went and learned some trade, right? Your weight loss, you're so conditional. It's like, okay, I'm going to try this thing. If it works and the scale goes down, I'll stick with it. If it doesn't work, fuck it, I'm done. Now think about how you went to college or some trade you may have learned. It's like you expected it to be hard. You knew it was going to be challenging and you signed up for it and you had a different mindset though. So you were able to weather the ups and downs and the challenges way better because your mindset was prepared for that. That's how I thought about it. So again, this is one of the big reasons I get out here every day to tell you, I'm trying to reframe how you're thinking about weight because the way you think about weight loss is fucked up. You've been conditioned and hypnotized by the diet industry to think about it like a child. You think like an absolute child when it comes to your weight. You really do. It's tough shit. You don't like that. You're like a child though. It's like my son's even getting better. He's 12 now, but you know, back in the day, he'd do something. He's, oh, let's play basketball. You show him something. No, it's too hard. It's too hard. That's what you're like with the diet. Now, I don't blame you though, because the diets aren't built for long-term success. So there's that piece of it too. But, you know, the way you're approaching this stuff now, it's you don't have the level of commitment or focus or accurate expectations. You certainly don't have the strategy. You know, there's a lot of stuff's wrong. That's why I tell you, I don't want to sound negative here because I give you a solution too. I can't go through it every single day on Alive. I can't go through the whole system. It'd get boring. But go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, and watch the video I made you. Okay, I kind of lay out the whole system, and it'll give you just a very different paradigm. It's 25 minutes. But it'll give you a completely different paradigm to think about your weight in. And if you're not on the social media thing to click on my bio, you can go to programyourselfthin.com. The free session is there. Sign up for it and you get all this stuff. But yeah, it all takes time. Everything takes time though. Do you know what I mean? Like again, there's no fast solutions. If there was a fast solution that worked, I would tell it to you. I promise you I would. I've not seen any fast solution. Yes, if you're dieting, it's painful. Get off the diet train, learn to eat for health. Absolutely done. Lolly says, I just want to look good. It has nothing to do with weight. Well, that's great, Lolly. I think that's great. When you want to look good, if that's really true, folks, if you really want to look good, I think that's Because again, it's not me to judge you. I don't think that's going to be enough motivation, but I hear what you're saying. It has nothing to do with weight. So what does it have to do with? Because I don't like to assume. So Lolly, if you could answer that, it has nothing to do. I just want to look at it has nothing to do with weight. What does it have to do with? Because I like this trail of thought where we're going with it. Because I think if you start to define looking good as being at peace with myself, loving who I am, loving my body, feeling confident, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, feeling energized, feeling nourished, feeling well rested, feeling happy, feeling light, I think those all make you look better. So if that's what you mean by looking better, then I couldn't agree more. Thoughts on Wegovy and Ozempic? Yeah, I have thoughts on Ozempic. I just did a video on YouTube about the Oprah Winfrey special. This is a reaction video to it because I'm gonna be this shit's triggering to me. Listen, here's the thing with those medicines, and I just learned this when I was watching Oprah's special, right? Because I got the diagram to show you how it works, and so now I understand it a little bit more. Where it stimulates GLP-1, which is a hormone your body produces that signals satiety. So, you can take Ozempic and you take it and it makes you feel more satisfied. So you're not as hungry. You can eat what you eat, but now you feel more full. You're not as hungry, so it's easier to eat less. Now, that being said, you have to eat less. You have to change your lifestyle up. You've got to work on your mindset. It doesn't like boost your metabolism. So you can eat the same and then lose weight. That doesn't exist. What it does is it impacts your hunger signaling by increasing this GLP-1 hormone. Now, as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, here we go. And once again, I'm batting 1,000 for being someone who's not a scientist. My initial thoughts on food that I learned 30 years ago, primarily through yoga and learning nutrition, yoga-based nutrition, which was about natural foods. It's always served me well. And so I looked up GLP-1 hormone and natural ways to increase it, because you will never hear this thing. You'll never hear this on Oprah Winfrey's show, but you're never going to believe it, but you can actually increase GLP-1 naturally. How, you say? Well, by increasing the one thing that I talk about all the time and have been talking about all the time for 30 years, which is to increase the fiber intake. So listen, in the diet and what we eat now, the standard American diet is very, very low in fiber because the standard American diet is a very processed diet. And so fiber does not process well. So fiber has been stripped from a lot of the foods. Plus, I wonder now, I would not be surprised to find the food industries want to strip fiber as well because they want to reduce GLP-1. You have to understand that all the processed foods' goal is to sell you more food. So processed food is designed not only to be hyper palatable and addictive, so you want to eat all of it, it's also designed to be very unsatisfying. And I wouldn't be surprised if they found ways to lower GLP-1 so that you're always hungry. But listen, the first challenge I had to get through to master my weight was managing my hunger. I used to always reference as the endless hunger. I'm like, I'm just always hungry. I could always eat. How am I going to lose weight this way? And over the years, what I've learned is that as you start to increase your micronutrient intake, as you start to increase your fiber intake, let me just cut to the chase, the thing you don't want to hear. As you start to eat more fruits, vegetables, greens, and beans in your diet day to day regularly, you're going to start to feel more full. Your food noise is going to go down. So, again, I think Ozempic's a great solution if you don't want to do any of the work on your own. You want to keep eating the same way, but eat less. I think there's a good chance it may work for you. It doesn't work for everyone. When it works, it tends to make people feel kind of nauseous and sick and all the rest of it. It's not a long-term solution. You always have to take the medicine. It's expensive. It may have side effects that we'll find out about. And it's just not the goal that I work on my clients with. Like when I work with people, it's not about weight loss. It's really about becoming the best version of yourself possible. So honestly, it's more of a personal development program than it is just weight loss. So, and as they said in the Oprah special, she had her big success story. She talked about she was overweight her whole life, but then her dad died and she went into a deep depression and she put a lot more weight on. And so I say to myself, okay, so say you're on Ozempic or Wegovy you're super depressed and you're not eating as much, but how do you deal with the depression? And that, I thought that was the perfect example of one of the big differences that I think in, that it's again, the Ozempic, the Wegovy is treating the symptoms. And that's what our medical establishment trains and teaches us to think in, is symptoms, but it's not getting to the core problem. And so if I'm working with someone whose father just passed away and they're really depressed, I want to talk about the emotions. How are we dealing with that? How are you feeling about it? How are you processing it? And again, the whole section of my program is about dealing with emotions, feeling the emotions you want to feel, dealing with the shitty emotions you don't want to feel in a genuine way. And so again, I know a lot of people I don't give a shit about that, Jim. I just want to lose weight. Well, great. I'm not the person for you. Again, there's 8 billion people on the planet. So, there's plenty of space for all of us, to do how we want to do it. But I think it's another Band-Aid to a deeper problem. And that's what I think of it. But I support people too. I mean, there's people in my program doing it, but I respect it because they're using it as a crutch, but then they're learning strategies, real foundational strategies under it to support them so that they can come off of it, But again, it comes down to the fact, and I don't care. Like, again, it's not a judgment if someone doesn't want to change their diet. They want to keep eating pretty much the same foods they're eating. Oprah said that. Well, now instead of eating the whole bagel, I can eat half the bagel and feel full. Okay, great. I get that too. But I've come up with a solution where I don't eat bagels 5 days a week. If I eat bagels all the time, I want to eat bagels all the time. So there's other ways to strategically do a lot of what these medicines are doing, I think. That's what I think. So just depends what your goals are. Don't do weight loss drugs, do Jim's program and end the first struggle the first good. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think it's a better approach for that. And maybe it won't work for you. And then you do it. Then you can do the medicine with a clear conscience, Do you think deficit breaks are a good idea, eating at maintenance for a bit to relax mentally? Yeah, I mean, I just think that I hate the word deficit. The deficit just in and of itself is anchoring you to feel deprived. And it's, again, the whole weight loss. I know this is kind of like semantics, and people don't like semantics, but your subconscious mind is very literal. And even losing weight, who wants to lose weight? Right? When you think of someone who wants to lose weight, do you think of a person at their goal weight or someone who's overweight? Someone who's overweight, obviously. So your mantra that you're thinking in your head, I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. You are always thinking of yourself as an overweight person. And so I don't know at what point you start to make the shift to start to think of yourself as a thin and healthy person. You would think it'd be when you lost the weight. That's not what happens. This is my entire practice. I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss. I've been doing this 20 years. It's a stream of people that have lost weight and then put it back on. I said, well, what happened when you got to the goal weight? I didn't feel like myself. Exactly. Because you only have an overweight mindset at this point. And so go ahead, diet your weight down. If you don't change your mindset, if you don't change your identity to start thinking like a thin and healthy person, I don't know how it's going to last. So when you need to take breaks because what you're doing is so stressful, where do you end up at? So again, I would rather systematically work myself to my goal weight than to do dramatic things. Let me put it metaphorically with the weight loss. It's like if I want to play the piano, I've never played the piano before, but I'm really motivated to play it. I got to do this. I'm going to learn this. So I'm like, I'm going to practice 10 hours a day. I need to get good quick. Right? It's okay. Sounds like a great plan until I wake up the second day and my hands are cramped up and I hate the piano and I can't get myself to practice because I hate it so much. Now that's not a good strategy. So a lot of times you got to go slow to go fast. And a lot of dieters are trying to go too fast. So yeah, I guess deficit breaks are a good idea. It's this all or nothing thinking. To me, it's like, I just want to start working on what I'm going to do forever. That philosophy has served me better than anything else. You're thinking, oh, I'm in deficit now I'm going to relax and whatever. Now I'm in a deficit mode. Well, what are you going to end up living at? What's the ultimate goal here? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so you're always thinking about the weight loss is just a phase. The weight loss is going to take you a couple months, a couple years, maybe at most, to lose the weight. And then you get to your goal weight. And then we want to spend the rest of your life at that weight. That's the real goal. But you've been focused and conditioned to just think about the weight loss phase. You just think of the weight loss phase. That's it. The weight loss phase is like this much, and living at your goal weight is like this much. But you're focusing all your energy here. And the irony is that losing weight is way harder than mastering your weight, because losing weight, you're doing crazy shit that you need to take breaks from. Program yourself, then people need to take breaks. As a matter of fact, because I got some people going away on vacation, they come back from vacation. Can you tell me the last time you did this on your diet? Last time you got back from a vacation on keto and you said, I couldn't wait to get back on my plan. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like you can set this up so that it feels good. It's how you naturally act. It's your natural automatic mode. that can be your new goal weight mode where it's just natural and automatic. We don't need to take breaks from it. So again, I think they're good because what I'm hearing, user 676, I'm hearing that what you're doing is very hard to sustain. And if something's hard to sustain, what are we doing? What's the point? I don't know what the point is. Oh, so I can lose the weight? Yeah, but then what? What then? What happens ultimately? That's the question I'm concerned about. After you reach your desired weight, can you automatically eat at maintenance, or do you have to work up to it? Yeah, I mean, you'll have to figure that out because again, you can use all the guides. You know, I just haven't seen those work well for people. No one maintains. So here we go. I could talk about maintenance in my non-scientific weird way, and a scientist could look at me and say, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't understand science at all. But then fuck that person, because I could give you all the science in the world of calories and TDEs and energy expenditures and all this shit, and watch you struggle and fail. I mean, that's the whole weight loss industry right now. You can go talk to a nutritionist and they'll give you the exact calorie, the exact macro, the rest of it. Dietitians and nutritionists don't have any success helping people lose weight. Not really. Doctors don't. Why is this? Because everyone that wants to lose weight, they got these two modes in their mind. They got my normal mode, weight loss mode. Well, you're always going to end up living at normal mode. So you better fucking focus on fixing the normal mode. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Can you automatically eat at maintenance? I don't know. Yeah, go bring it up to maintenance. Whatever the calculator says to maintenance is, go eat at maintenance and see what happens. And then just take it from there, But again, the big suggestion I give you is weigh yourself every day so you can at least, start to notice what's going on. Because that's where you want to be anyways. Again, listen, folks, the goal here is to maintain. The goal is to live at a forever plateau. You're not thinking that way because all you're thinking is cutting, deficit. I want to lose the weight quick. Well, what happens when you get to goal weight, maintenance? I don't know. I'll figure it out then. I'll bring my calories back up. Okay. It's drastic. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. There's a lot going on there. On paper, it sounds obvious. So I'm going to cut the calories down. And then when I lose the weight, I'm going to bring myself right back up to maintenance. So on paper, that sounds like a great plan. I wouldn't argue that. But in the real world, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. And part of it is your motivation. Your motivation to do extreme things is powered by your desire to watch the scale go down quickly. And so once the scale stopped going down, let me know where your motivation, how that shows up. And then your strategies, you've done extreme things. So now what are you going to do? You don't go back to what you were doing. So what are you going to do? How are you going to master that? You got your diet mode and you got your normal mode. Where's the maintenance mode fall in there? Oh, it's the same. I just eat less calories. Okay, because there's associations, subconscious associations. So now when you're not in diet mode, let me know how that affects your behaviors. Because I believe you kind of go into diet mode and then normal mode. And you don't even have a regular maintenance mode. No one's working on that. Again, right? You got your overweight mode, then you got your diet mode. You diet yourself down, same problem. I got diet mode and I got overweight mode. And this is the core problem that I see. I see no one working on thin and healthy mode ever. And in Program Yourself Thin, we start with thin and healthy mode. That's the goal, is to become thin and healthy mode more and 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 more until eventually that's what we are. There's no, we'll be thin and healthy mode now, and then we go into overweight mode. Then we do thin and healthy mode now, and then we're going to figure out what maintenance is somewhere. It's very confusing, and I don't understand it. So I wish I could give you a better answer, but I can only explain what I'm saying. Pound is a pound. Muscles are heavier than fat. Yeah. A fat pound is soft and flabby. A muscle pound is firm and sculpted. Yes, it's true. A pound's a pound, but yeah, they show up differently, and they act different in your body too. I only have natural sugar and eat whole good foods and feel amazing from it. I don't agree with weight loss injections. I can't help but think of what is in them, not natural. I agree. I mean, I'm not here to scare people. I know a lot of people are considering or are already on it. So I'm here to be a supportive place, whether you're on Ozempic or one of these GLP-1 medicines or not. I want to be supportive for you. And again, like I said, there's people in my program that are on it. So I get it. I know you're desperate and you feel like this could be the answer. But again, once again, I don't see, I always seem to have an answer. I'm not a scientist. And all of a sudden I learn the deeper understandings of how these medicines are working. And the first thing I see is, oh, it's increasing GLP. It's a satiety hormone. Okay. And instantly my mind goes, well, are there natural ways to do it? Because I've experienced that. I've experienced my food noise going way down. How did I do it? Well, I changed my lifestyle. That was part of it. But changing my eating was the biggest way I did it. Eating more whole foods, specifically more fiber-rich foods, greens, vegetables, fruits, beans, these things into my diet, and I feel more satisfied than I've ever felt in my life. And I think you would too. Maybe you wouldn't, but have you tried it? You don't know what's your lifestyle and your eating and what's your genetics and your biology. So I think most people that are trying the medicine are people that have not, even fucking Oprah. And this is why she drives me crazy. I like Oprah. I think she's great. I wouldn't listen to her about weight loss. She has no clue. She's horrible when it comes to weight loss. And I know people can relate to her because everyone's lost, but she's just as lost as everyone else. Just because she's super duper smart and successful and ambitious with her media career, she's as stupid as with the weight loss as everyone else. And I don't take that personally. Y'all been conditioned by the diet industry. I was too. You know what I mean? Shit, you've seen millions of diet ads in your life. Again, I mentioned this yesterday, but she references her big famous moment when she wheels out the fat years ago. And she's like, I did it from a liquid diet. Well, what the fuck? Why don't you talk about how stupid a liquid diet was and how it's just dumb? It's not built on long-term success. I get the feeling Oprah's never thought about how to maintain. It's hard to believe because she's so smart and she's so fucking rich. I don't know how you can't have someone that can help you. And again, I'm not even saying, you know what, maybe you have someone help you and it doesn't work completely and you take the medicine. Fine. I'm fine with that. But I don't know why she's not leading with, I changed my diet up. I started eating more fruits and vegetables. It didn't work. And I went to this. You never hear that shit. She's always talking about, I do liquid fast. I'm starving myself. I'm counting points. I'm doing all the dumb diet shit that everyone fucking does and doesn't succeed with. It didn't work. So I went to medicines. And so, this is my problem with it is now you get the weight loss industry always selling you diets that didn't work. And now they're going to sell you medicines that don't deal with the core problem. And they never talk about natural strategies along the way. I said this yesterday, the guy in the program, he's a doctor from the Cleveland Clinic. And I'm like, man, you all know, right? I'm here every fucking day for free. I have to cut myself off. If I get 2 hours, I got to stop talking. You get me on national TV. I got all sorts of things I want to tell the world. This fucking guy sitting on his hands, he's got no answers. He's got nothing. He doesn't know anything about weight mastery. He knows, I don't know. Everyone's hungry and those you got set points. It's like, man, what the fuck? He's a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, runs the whole thing. He's smarter about science than I am. Don't you have any fucking strategies for what we may be able to do? You have anything in there? I got a fucking 1,000 of them. It makes me nuts. I guess I told you, I try to manage this, but it's everything with the weight loss industry. It's always like just treating symptoms. They never go to the core. Am I saying like eating vegetables and fruits and natural diet's going to fix everyone? That changing your lifestyle and being more calm and relaxed and better sleep, and is that going to change everyone? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people and there's probably deeper issues, but do I think it'll fix most people? Yes, I do. Because again, these medicines aren't making your metabolism like kick into overdrive. So you can't eat the same and lose weight on these medicines. They make it easier because they make you feel nauseous so that you don't want to eat as much. Your hunger goes down. And so you don't eat as much, but there's just so many ways to do that naturally too. And I didn't hear her fucking mention any of them. I heard her mention dumb diets and how they don't work. Yeah, no shit. I'll agree with you on that. But the answer isn't just medicine. There's other things you can do, So I don't know, but people are going to do what they're going to do. Shakira, 34 down. Thank you. You're welcome. Great job, Shakira. Jeez Louise. 34 down. That's great. I love to see that. Oh shit. Let's turn my thing off. I like to take screenshots of these and I always turn my thing off. That's wonderful, Shakira. Keep it up. There's a weird feeling once you reach your goal. It's as if that's it. How do you deal with the fact that your identity has always been about being fat and needing to lose weight? User 676, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And dieters never want to think about this. But again, the diet industry, one of the core marketing psychological strategies they use on you is the false hope syndrome. It's this idea that it's Monday. I'm going to start my keto plan. I'm going to get to my goal weight and everything's going to be amazing. It's a fairy tale. Because I'm telling you, you get to your goal weight and because you lose weight a pound at a time, by the time you get to your goal weight, it's not like you get a 30-pound weight loss and you wake up tomorrow morning and holy shit, woo. It's like by the time you get to the goal weight, it's the boiling frog thing, right? You slowly turn the water up, and the next thing you know, it's cooked. Didn't realize. Okay, well that works both ways. That's what's worked to put the weight on you, and now you're not experiencing as painfully as if you just gained 50 pounds yesterday to today. And when you lose the weight, it's a gradual thing. And so when you get to your goal weight, it feels exactly like that. Like that's it. That's it. And you know that most of you have all gotten to that point, and you don't want to think about it, but it's like it's not like a party as soon as you get to your goal weight. There's still life going on. There's still financial stresses, fucking inflation, politics, relationship issues, family issues. It's just bullshit in life they still got to deal with. And if you don't have better strategies to deal with those things other than food, and you don't have a deeper motivation for wanting to do this other than just how you look and getting to a goal weight, it's never going to last, because you're exactly right. And so the identity to me is really the core of the whole process. And in Program Yourself Thin, right after we get past motivation, which is the first most important piece, the program really starts, in my opinion, with focusing on your self-image. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to live as? So right from day one, we're focusing on becoming the person you want to be, so that by the time you become that person, you're prepared for it. You've been practicing it. This is the goal. It's like you want to be a piano player. So you practice, 15 minutes, half hour every day. And you think, I'm a piano player. Holy shit, I'm learning this. And your self-image starts to change. It's not like all of a sudden, like a year from now, you wake up and you can play the piano. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing? You know what I mean? It becomes, time moves slowly or quickly, however you want to think about it. But your transformation happens bit by bit. And yeah, it's exactly right, user 76. Your identity's always been fat and needing to lose weight. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. What would you all do if tomorrow morning you woke up at your goal weight? I know you'd be excited. What would you think about all day? What would you do with your mental energy? Take a second and think about how often you're thinking about your weight and losing weight. You're going to find it's more than half your thoughts, I bet. Half your time spent living is just thinking about your weight and losing weight and all the rest of it. You never think about yourself as a thin, healthy person, and you've got to develop that. It's almost like, it's like learning a language. You need to become fluent in thin and healthy thinking and becoming a thin, healthy person. You're right. I'm not giving you a satisfying answer. Like, I wish I could just say something and make you that way. How do you deal with it? You got to deal with it though. It's a real issue. Folks, you've all lost weight before, haven't you? I asked this to everyone I work with. Everyone I work with lost weight and then put it back on. Why did you do it? I didn't feel like myself. I agree. You don't like being overweight. It's painful. You don't like it. You want to lose weight, but you can't disagree that you're familiar with it. You know how to get by in the world as an overweight person. You know how to navigate your relationships, your work, your life as an overweight person. And so there's a great saying that people prefer a known hell to an unknown heaven. And I think that absolutely applies to the weight. You don't like being overweight, but you're familiar with it. And that's what your subconscious mind likes, because it knows this reality. So to all of a sudden become a thin, healthy person, it's very disorienting. And if you don't start to prepare and practice and thinking of yourself as a thin, healthy person right from the beginning, it's weird. So you're right though. Yeah. So again, the goal, the answer to that though, user 676, is you can't make the goal just getting to the goal weight. And that's why I say you got to take your weight loss rapid in personal development. You need to give this more meaning. It's got to be about becoming the person you want to be. And one aspect of that is getting your goal weight. The weight in of itself is not enough motivation for most people. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. So I think it's really important to realize that. Samber D, oh my God, I'm having bad cravings right now. Yeah. Dealing with cravings. I mean, again, the secret to dealing with cravings is to really have a preventative approach, right? We don't want to deal with bad cravings once they kick off and get rolling. We want to prevent them as best we can. So, but when you're having bad cravings, some strategies you could, attempt are to shift your mind, go for a walk, go call someone up and do something, do something that's interesting to you. They could help. Drink some water, eat an apple. Wikipedia, I changed the way I eat, more fiber, protein, and veggies. My appetite decreased dramatically. What do you know? Right? Good for you. Good for you testing it out. This isn't rocket science, folks. You got to understand, again, the obesity conspiracies, the food companies, the diet companies are one and the same, and the medical establishment. The food companies are trying to sell you as much of their shitty food as possible. And they're trying to sell you the most profitable food. The most profitable food is not fruits, vegetables, greens, and beans. The most profitable food is processed food that has a brand on it. Okay. Because they can make it for pennies because it's shitty ingredients and you can only get it one place, their brand. All right. The medical establishment, and I love medicine, but it's a whole system built on treating the symptoms. They don't want you. I don't believe this because I don't. It's always follow the money, right? So it's like I don't think that the medical industry wants you to not be overweight because I think they would rather treat, give you insulin, give you Ozempic, give you medicines to deal with the symptoms and not deal with the core. And you know this because you gone to your doctors, you're overweight, and the doctor says, yeah, you should think about losing some weight. Well, no shit. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's what you got for me. And they don't really have any real ability to help you master your weight. So yeah, so all the strategies that are coming at you are all bullshit. And the obvious stuff that's just so obvious, we just miss because we never think about it. But yeah, you start eating more fiber, protein, and veggies, you're going to see a dramatic shift in your diet, in your appetite, most likely. And it's going to be positive. So Brady says, if I don't lose 10 pounds by next month, I'm going to chop my hair on live. Why? Why 10 pounds by next month? Who gives a shit? I will say one of my favorite clients, I remember her saying, she's like, one of the best parts now is that I'm not doing this thing with myself where it's like, okay, I got to lose 20 pounds by summer. Okay, I got to lose 20 pounds by the end of the summer. Okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by the holidays. Okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. Okay, it's New Year's. I'm going to lose 20 pounds the start of the year. It's like, you got to get off that fucking train. I mean, how long have I been saying that? So again, that stress of having to lose weight short term usually doesn't work. And then when it does work, it lasts for a little while and doesn't last long. But anyways, I think Oprah would agree with how clueless and desperate when it comes to weight loss. Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. So again, that's the trick there, though. She doesn't know shit. She has the wrapping of Oprah is this halo effect because she's Oprah, right? And it's cognitive dissonance is what it is when you see someone who's Oprah. I mean, she's one of a kind. She's the Oprah, right? Category all to herself, and yet she can't understand the weight. Which, hey, listen, I say that I was just doing. I work with me privately is 25 grand. So I work with like very successful CEOs, celebrities, movie stars, people you would know of. They're super smart, super focused, super action taking people. They're struggling with their weight. So, just add Oprah to the list. So we have to separate those two things and realize that she is just as lost as everyone else. Don't listen to her though. You know what I mean? Like she's not a good role model for this stuff. She's as lost as anyone else. If she was, she's a lady down the street that you don't, that's Susie. She was struggling her way for 30 years. She's talking her shit. You'd ignore her, right? But Oprah's Oprah, so we listen to her. You got to stop doing that. Again, it's that halo effect, and it's damaging for a lot of people. Because how many people join Weight Watchers because she bought Weight Watchers and promote all that shit, which is, listen, folks, Weight Watchers is bullshit, okay? And by the way, this fucking idea where they're going to hire some celebrity to be the spokesperson, just because Jessica Simpson or fucking Oprah loses 100 pounds on Weight Watchers, they've got completely different motivations. If I'm going to give you millions of dollars to lose weight, you think you might be more motivated too? Well, you don't have that motivation. So, I hope you fucking let go of the celebrity endorsement bullshit. It's always bullshit. They're not in the same situation you were in. So anyways, my emotions, energy levels, food cravings, and motivation alter from our cycle. Track them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're a woman, you got to track your period. You've got to. It's almost guaranteed it's going to have some impact on your hunger, your appetite, your eating, your moods, all of this stuff. So again, you want to recognize the patterns and then start strategizing for them. All right. But then again, there's money and stakes in the game involved with whatever she does. Yeah, exactly. And I give Oprah always the benefit of the doubt. I like Oprah. And I could be cynical and stuff with all this stuff, but with her, I tend to not do that because I think I just want to believe she's got goodness in her heart. And I know other people don't think that, but I think that it is true. I think she's just as lost as everyone else. I think no one has any real ideas here. And I don't understand this, I don't know why I have ideas. You know what I mean? I look at these doctors at Cleveland Clinic. They should be saying what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I'm not everything I say. I know some of the shit I say is a little out of pocket, but I mean, shit, talking about eating whole natural foods, fiber, it stays in your gut longer, gives you higher GLP-1 production. Why don't they mention that? And then say, hey, listen, people that don't want to eat more fruits and vegetables, Ozempic's probably a good strategy for you. I don't know. So whatever. Are you talking about Ozempic? I was, yeah. What's up, Jay? I'm doing very well. Yes. I love you. You're funny, Oprah. Yeah. We should make a support group of sponsors to keep us in check. Yeah, excellent. I got to pay my brother to roast me if I'm eating like a cow. Yeah. Yeah, your siblings, I don't know. Sometimes that can help you, sometimes not. But again, even roasting you, that stuff, it's a short-term solution and strategy. Again, it all comes down to mindset. It's like what you want to do. I always tell you this, that I don't not eat fast food and junk food and processed food because of willpower. I eat it because of the way I think about it. And I don't think very fondly about it. So again, I always use this example, but if you're watching this, you're probably a non-smoker. And if you're a non-smoker, it's not because you have such amazing willpower. It's because your mindset, when you think about cigarettes, doesn't generate any cravings for it. As a matter of fact, it generates disgust or indifference. So again, what I'm trying to tell you is that the diet industry cranks up your cravings and says use willpower to fight against them. And I'm trying to tell, because think about it. I mean, look at all the diet magazines. You'll see diet magazines, you'll see diabetes magazines, and what's on the covers? It's always fucking cakes and pizzas and all this food. Oh, eat what you want, lose weight. Yeah, it's tough shit. No, of course you can't eat the same stuff and lose weight. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't want to change how I'm eating. Great. Get out of here. What can I tell you? You've got to change how you're eating. You can still eat your favorite foods. You've just got to do it strategically. But the whole diet is, eat what you want, do this. Although then there's keto. I don't know why. I don't know. It's confusing sometimes. What's up, Shomanique? The language analogy for thin and healthy versus overweight thinking is so helpful. I'm learning Italian and want to just think and speak in Italian, not think English and translate every time. Yeah, that's a Shomanique. Yeah, exactly. It's this idea of becoming fluency, but it's fluency is what I'm talking about. In NLP, we talk about like conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, unconscious incompetence. And so when you first learn things, you're consciously incompetent. You have no idea how to do it. Okay. Then you start learning it a bit. Now you start to become consciously competent, right? If you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, I get that word. And then as you keep practicing, you start to become unconsciously competent. And this is fluency. This is when you just do things on autopilot. So this is what I'm always attempting with my clients is to create unconscious competency so that you naturally and automatically, fluently think, live, and behave and eat like a thin and healthy person. So it's like second nature. It's autopilot. You did brushing your teeth is an automated behavior. Now you have unconscious competence with. You just do it automatically. You don't think about it. You just do it in the morning. You do it at night. You do it when you do it on autopilot, pretty much. You can do the same thing with your eating, with your thinking, with your lifestyle in a way that supports you living at your goal weight. Janice says that goal weight, I have trouble eating enough. Yeah. Well, that's one of the better troubles to have, right? Breedy, I'm a skinny queen. Yeah, the whole Bella Hadid stuff. I hate. Sometimes I get linked to her because of certain reasons. I'm on my fake account, but I'm going to join this on my real one and give you my number. Michelin was 304, got down to 159, then perimenopause hit, gained 30 pounds. Old approach no longer working. Hey, great job. Okay, so great. Listen, you're still in the game. Okay, just relax and calm down. Okay. And I would look at what changed, right? Typically, people tend to do this. I just made a video on this. Wait, I talked about this yesterday where I was talking about like literally you can't lose weight. Weight loss is an effect. It's a reflection of your eating and lifestyle. Okay. Which isn't to say that there aren't physical effects. Sometimes you can do everything the same. Then some physical thing happens and all of a sudden your weight goes up or down. Okay. That obviously can happen. But I think what's important is that, you dropped almost half your body weight. I don't know what you did to make that happen. And then perimenopause hit. Did your behaviors change at all? Or did every thing stay exactly the same and the weight just went up 30 pounds? Because more often than not, what's happening is the behaviors are changing, but we're just looking at the weight. So we have to recognize that your weight is a reflection of your habitual eating and living lifestyle. And we always want to recognize that dynamic because we can really get caught up on the weight and what it's doing. And again, you can't lose weight. You can't. How would you lose weight? Let me know. You can eat better. You can clean up your lifestyle. And over time, that can magically turn into weight loss. But you can't like lose weight right now. How would you do it? And I think, I know you say, oh, Samantha, what are you talking about, Jim? It's very important that you get that because your subconscious mind is very literal. And what that means, what the next step we go to once you understand that your weight's a reflection of your habitual eating and thinking and living, is that we focus on the habitual thinking, living, and eating. That's what I'm obsessed with. And I have that mastered. So my weight shows up here as what I want it to be, but it's because I live and eat this way here. So the more you get obsessed on how you're thinking, living, and eating, the better your results are going to get. But if you only focus on the weight loss piece, again, your emotions get all wobbly. You lose this direct cause and effect, relationship, and it gets confusing. Michelin says, I wish I could think of disgust when I think about food. Well, yeah. Okay. So Michelin, yeah. Okay. So absolutely. I got chronic hives and the medication made me a walking zombie. My appetite also increased. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're off the meds and it's a new work in progress. But again, and I don't know, Mishi, is one thing I want to make sure if I was coaching with you right now, I'd want to get the time frames down. So to lose 150 pounds almost is a lot of weight loss. So I want to know how long that took you. Because if it took you 2 years, you're in a better position than if you did it in 6 months. Because that's a quick, crazy situation with no foundation under you. So whatever you did to lose the weight is probably not what you're going to do to maintain it. And so again, get yourself focused on maintenance. What you're going to do to maintain this. Acknowledge that. See, now it's interesting, Mishi. This is why I said this to you, because I want everyone to hear this, because when Mishi said I was 304, got down to 159, then perimenopause hit, gained 30 pounds. Okay, that's what she led with. And then we went in a little more detail, and she said, I got chronic hives and the medication made me a walking zombie, and my appetite also increased. So this is what I mean. Like, a lot of times we believe limiting beliefs. And if we didn't go any deeper into this, you'd all be thinking, well, she was doing great. She lost 150 pounds. Now she's putting on perimenopause. I'm not saying that's not a factor, but I'm saying I bet the way bigger factor is the hive medication that made you a zombie and made your appetite go crazy. So we need to be crystal clear about the cause and then the effect. And if we just say some vague thing, perimenopause, then we lose sight of that and we get very discouraged. Oh, it doesn't matter what I do now. I'm in perimenopause. I can't lose weight. My entire career has been helping women in some phase of menopause lose weight. So I have not seen menopause be the thing that stops someone from losing weight. It make it slower. It may make it harder in certain ways, but it's just one more challenge you just got to deal with. All right. But Michelin, again, just refocus yourself now. Oh, you started your journey in 2008. Okay, wonderful. Super duper. No, not you. Yeah, Mishi, you don't have to write a whole dictionary the whole first time. But I just make this a point for everyone else because it's so easy for our brain. It wants to glom onto, oh yeah, menopause. See, she lost 150 pounds. Then menopause came and it went right on. And as soon as you think that becomes a limiting belief that's going to cause you to not give 100%. If you don't believe you're going to succeed, it's very unlikely you're going to succeed because you're not going to do the things that you need to do to succeed because you don't believe they're going to work. So again, I appreciate you going deeper into that and clarifying that. And for you now, even for you, by the way, because you said perimenopause first. So I know in the back of your mind, that's a lingering doubt. Well, can I still do this with perimenopause? I believe you can. Now I will tell you, I believe anyone that's got a physical challenge, menopause, thyroid issues, hormonal issues, insulin resistances, I think that the lifestyle piece becomes even more important. And the lifestyle piece is 8 crucial habits in order of importance: proper sleep, hydration, relaxation, breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. You start weaving these into your life, they start changing you biochemically. They change your hormone levels. They change you physically in a way that's very often supportive of your weight loss. So for you, Mishi, is realize, okay, the menopause is a real thing, but this was primarily the medicine I was on. I'm off it. Now let me get refocused, get myself back on track. Because the most important skill of mastering my weight, of living at my goal weight forever, is the ability to get back on track quickly when something throws me off. And so I've learned from this. I understand from it. Now I'm back on track. Okay. Just to set yourself up for success. And if you haven't yet, make sure that you go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, listen to it, but watch the video I made as well. That'll help you. Joy says, Jim, when do you fast, and do you fast every day? Again, I call it nighttime fasting, not to be confused with intermittent fasting. This is something I'd come up with a long time ago on my own. I don't mind intermittent fasting as it's taught, other than the fact that a lot of times it's wrapped in diet philosophy, meaning people jump straight into it trying to not eat for 16 hours. It's too overwhelming for them. And what they end up doing instead is creating a binge mindset mentality. So for me personally, I worked my way up to, I started off when I went to bed, when I stopped eating, I made that window bigger and bigger until now. For many decades now, I will usually stop eating 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I'll eat the next day, 7, 8 o'clock. So it's usually about 13, 14 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. It used to be 7 days. I now will snack sometimes on the weekend. So it's 5 to 7 days a week that I do that. But again, I worked up to it, and it's very natural and comfortable for me. That's the point I'm trying to make. So jumping straight into intermittent fasting is throwing you it's too much. And so I wouldn't suggest that. So I would suggest starting kind of in a more slow, methodical way so you build yourself up for long-term success. So I hope that helps. You said good stuff, good feedback. Thanks for responding. I will. Good job, Mishi. Yeah. Learn from this, learn and grow from it. That's the one thing I want to share with you all is, again, the path to mastery is recognize we're going to make mistakes. We're going to get off track. We're going to lose focus sometimes, but then we get back on track, and we get back on track better version of ourselves, because now we've learned things from it. We understand ourselves better, and now we're set up for more success. All right. So I hope that helps you all out. All right, everyone, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Great comments. I appreciate all of it. Again, if you're not in my world, go to my bio, click on the link, get the hypnosis session, listen to it, watch the video, 3 Steps to Mastering Your Weight, read the emails, and listen to the podcast. Podcast is Program Yourself Then. We do it every weekday, Monday through Friday. And what's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, follow me. Yeah. If you don't follow me on whatever you're watching me on or listening to me on, follow me, because then I'll pop up and you won't have to remember it. I'll just show up and help you out. And yeah, again, if you can't get to a link to sign up for your hypnosis session, go to programyourselfden.com. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.